DSP is Amazon's demand-side platform. It's programmatic advertising. And essentially what it does is it gives you audience data. So on Amazon PPC, we're just advertising with keyword data, keyword and product data. So we're showing up for keywords, showing up for products. In this case, we're showing up for audiences, for people. So Amazon says you can choose the audience that you want. You can choose where to advertise. So it could be on Amazon.com, this desktop, mobile, mobile app, or you can do publisher sites. Here's who you can target. Here's where you can target them. And then here's what you can show them, right? Which is either like a custom creative, or in my case, what I like to do is use responsive e-commerce, which basically think of it like a sponsored display campaign, because it looks way more natural than a custom image. Like I'm sure you guys have seen on Amazon sometimes like Amex, like an Amex ads and stuff like that. That one, you're like, oh, this is an Amex ad. Like I already know there's an ad. I don't want to look at it. Versus when you see a product and it looks exactly like a main image, reviews and star rating, price, you're like, oh, interesting. Like, let me click on that because it looks a lot more natural. So with Amazon DSP, we're able to target people based on what they've done. The two actions mainly are if they've viewed a product and if they've purchased a product. Look at the funnel on Amazon and it looks something like this. PPC would be somewhere here, right? So this is PPC and this is warm traffic. So this is people that are seeing your listing in the search results up here, right? And then they're making it into your listing down here, and then they're eventually converting. That's essentially the funnel on PPC. Now, what about people who have never seen your listing, right? So think of this case. Think of, for me, for example, Liquid IV or LMNT. Liquid IV and LMNT spend millions of dollars a month advertising to customers off of Amazon. And all of those customers go to the Liquid IV and LMNT page. What happens if I can take that audience and put it into my funnel and make them at least see my listing, and then some of them, are going to click on it, and I'm going to get way more people down here, right? And so that's the power of DSP. I can create an audience that targets people who viewed LMNT but have not purchased LMNT and have never viewed my product. So it's a fresh audience, and I can start pouring from LMNT, and I can start pouring from Liquid IV and all these other brands where people have seen their products, they've never seen my product, and they've never purchased any one of our products. So they're still on the market, right? And so that's the power of DSP at the top of the funnel. And that's how enterprise brands actually get to grow and grow and grow their brands. At the bottom of the funnel, PPC is great because like if someone makes it to your listing, they either buy or they don't. But what happens to the people that don't buy? Right here with DSP, you can do retargeting. You can essentially target everyone who's viewed your listing but never purchased and start following them around Amazon and keep showing them the ad. Now, we know the studies show that as people see your ad more and more and more, I think it was like something like 7 or something times, they're more likely to convert than if they just see it once. And so that's why using DSP, a lot of those bigger brands will follow their customers around until they make sure that they have converted or just, for sure are not interested. And then there's something for consumable products that's even better right at the bottom down here. And I like to call it a loyalty funnel. So what a loyalty funnel is it takes people who have purchased your product in the last year. So, in the last 365 days, they've purchased my product, but they haven't repurchased my product or any of my competitors' products in the last 60 days. So in the last 60 days, they haven't purchased anyone's product. So they must be out of product, and they purchased me in the last year. So let me start, re-engaging them and try to get them back into my funnel, right? Back into my funnel up here so they can start seeing me and go down that funnel. And so that's what I call a loyalty funnel. It's the warmest because it's people who actually already purchased from me. I'm just reminding them to purchase again. With PPC and DSP, like you get way more of a full approach instead of just having this, right? Where people are seeing you on the search terms and then they're either buying or not buying. Now you're getting people who would have never seen you coming in the top here. You're getting people who didn't purchase you in the middle here, like or let's call it at the bottom here. People who viewed you but didn't purchase you, trying to get them to purchase you, and people at the bottom who already purchased you, bringing them back up to the top to make it an even bigger funnel, right? An even bigger, top segment of your funnel. And so that's essentially what, a lot of brands do with DSP is that they have a way more structured funnel approach, right? Now, let me just go a little bit deeper here, right? If we said PPC is here, we're not just targeting like this cold audience. We're targeting competitor audience right here. This competitor, I'm just gonna say competitor audience right here. And then we can target complementary products, right? So complements. So we're targeting people who have purchased a complementary product, but haven't purchased our product or any of our competitors' products. We're actually adding another segment here. And then we can go all the way up to contextual. So these are people who, based on their behaviors, look like they would be interested in our product, but aren't actually shopping for it. You know what I mean? And this is fully based on, we can call it like Amazon's auto DSP campaign, right? Contextual. And then we have retargeting. There's one more here that I didn't mention, right? And it's cross-selling. So obviously bigger brands, they have bigger catalogs. So if you've already converted a customer, why not try and sell them another product that makes sense to them? So, if you're an RV company, right, you already sold them like a brush for, like, as you're stepping into the RV, they can brush their feet. Every single RV needs a tongue scale. Why don't you advertise your tongue scale? You know that there are RV buyers. You know that they already trust your brand because they bought a product from you, and hopefully they were happy with it. So you add that segment. And then at the bottom, you have the loyalty segment. And that's essentially the full funnel. See, we started out with PPC. This is just, keywords and product targets, right? We only had two areas of visibility, keywords and product targets. And look how much more we added with DSP. And this is why bigger brands are able to scale way more, because yes, this is not going to convert as good as PPC. The ROAS here, if my PPC ROAS right here is a 4x, this is probably going to be a 3x. And a lot of people don't want to do that. Right? They're like, no, if I'm going to do DSP, I want it to be even more, right? At the bottom here, you might have like a 7x, right? But if you combine the two, you're probably going to be left with like a 3.5x ultimately, because this is going to be a small pool of customers. This is going to be where the big scale comes in and keeps adding more and more and more people to see your product. And ultimately, that's marketing, right? It's more and more and more visibility. And the more people see you, the more they're going to click on you. The more people that click on you, the more they're going to convert over time. But yeah, that's essentially the final thing that I see big brands doing.